Hey guys, I got some more dirt on Daniel Boone and the song from King Crimson. So let's get into it. All right. So this is how it turned out. Daniel Boone was a colonel on Earth. Daniel Boone was my past life. Daniel Boone speaks to me in my head. I'll make another video on that a lot more. Anyway, not just Daniel Boone, there's other personalities that come out. More on that later. Anyway, Daniel Boone, he wrote a poem called The Dream and the Illusion on Earth when he was on Earth, when he was a colonel. When he died, he ended up with the priestess that died on the Earth with Daniel Boone. Well, they were together. He wasn't there to save her, but that's how it went down. Anyway, when he died, he got together with the priestess, Elizabeth, that was on the Earth. And then they ended up, and this is where Jesus Christ comes in and tells me, you were in Bean Town, Bean, as in pork and beans, Bean Town, and you published that poem plus others. Another one, I forgot the name of it. It was in the last video. Anyway, when I was in Bean Town, I asked Christ, I go, I published a song in Bean Town. Yeah, and I go, is that in St. Lucian? And he goes, no. I think it's in Europe, but I don't know. And then I asked him about, well, what's the real town called? And he goes, it's called Bean Town, Bean. And that's where you publish it. And you were there with the priestess, and you wrote the song. You wrote the song, a song, and it was called "The Dream and the Illusion" that you wrote as Colonel Boone. Then life went on. I was born. I was born later. I was born once more as a Russian, but only lived till I was 18, and I got killed. Then I then I died again. Then I died, and then I was born again as me. Then King Crimson comes out with a song called "The Dream and the Illusion." Well, it got back to Christ that King Crimson, wrote the song, my song, and the priestess song. We're like, what the hell? The problem is, how did it get from Beantown, St. Lucian, or the other alternative is, how did it get from Daniel Boone as Colonel, because he wrote it down, the song, probably in Kentucky or something when he died or when he was Colonel, wherever he was. Then how did that paper, that poem, end up in King Crimson's hands? There's two possibilities. Jesus Christ said. That is one way. Paper got handed down, handed down, handed down, generation after generation, until it got to King Crimson, the band King Crimson, or the artist that turned my poem into a song. The other way, if that didn't happen, that chain of events didn't happen, the other way, Christ says, is seeped into his consciousness. What that means is most things you do in life come from your soul. People invent things, songwriters create, they create in the illusion. When they go to bed at night, they wake up with a song in their head and they write it down. That's their soul. So maybe, let's just throw this out there, because as Christ said, this is the most likely possibility. The guy who wrote the song on the earth for King Crimson, his soul knew of your lyrics and wrote them down, knew them, knew your song that you wrote. Well, he basically hijacked it and wrote it himself to publish on earth. So back in the 1800s, Daniel Boone published with the priestess the Dream and the Illusion song, poem, or whatever. It's a song. Somehow that song ended up in King Crimson on Earth. It seeped into his consciousness. So King Crimson's soul knew of the song. This is the same way as I win the lottery. I go to bed at night, I wish for the lottery. I wake up in the morning singing the numbers of the song of the singing the numbers of the lottery to a Sesame Street song. How does that happen? And I won, but I didn't play. Anyway, his soul, King Crimson's soul, the artist who wrote the song, knew of the song that Daniel Boone wrote. He gave it to his body to write it down as King Crimson. And they wrote a song and they called it the Moon Child, the Dream and the Illusion. So you see, the dream and the illusion is exactly what it is. You get it? The artist for King Crimson dreamt the song and brought it to the illusion, Earth, the dream and the illusion. It's perfect. It's a perfect circle. But I don't get no royalties from it. But I did the same thing. I'm doing the same thing. I I uh I put on my boots here on Earth. In the spirit world, I put on my boots, but I don't have no boots in the spirit world. I put on my boots on Earth. Beautiful boots. Best boots I've ever had. In the spirit world, I put on the boots. CBC, my buddy, he's me, but he's separated from me. He goes, "Where'd you get those boots?" In the spirit world. And I go, "I don't know." Well, I told you I made a video about it. He took the boots, had them made in St. Lucian, and now he gets royalties from that. So I hijacked Caterpillar's boots because they're Caterpillar boots. And now I created them in St. Lucian. and people are buying them in St. Lucia, but I get royalties from it. You see how that works? And vehicles, anything I can create in song. There's a song for a pizza store. I created a jingle for it in my head on Earth. I was hanging out with the kids over eating pizza, and I started singing this song. It's a jingle for the name of the store. Get your pizza at Joe's place. La 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 la, something like that. Jesus Christ took that, brought it to the owners of the pizza store in St. Lucia, and that pizza is big in St. Lucia. They were blown away by it. The jingle is fun, it's kids, family oriented, and they loved it. He sold it. The people bought it that owned the pizza store. They bought the jingle, thousands of dollars, and I get the money for it. And I gave a cut to Jesus. Do you see how that works? Now reverse that process on the earth. Buddy dreamt the song, The Dream and the Illusion, my song, Daniel Boone's song. The only reason they know it was me is because me and the priestess published it back in the 1800s or 1900s, whatever it was. In Beantown, Spirit World. Where it is, I don't know. Jesus Christ didn't even tell me that. He didn't even know where it was. He had to look it up, and I missed it. So there you go. He knew the song. The guy from King Crimson, Soul, knew the song. He gave it to his mind in his body on earth, just like the lottery numbers. And they wrote it out word for word. The Dream and the Illusion. Moonchild, The Dream and the Illusion. And that happens with everything you do, everything, good or bad. So that's what I learned. Daniel Boone, when he was dead, was with the priestess. They published it. They published it in Beantown. I don't know if I was a singer. I think priestess was a guitar player. She wrote a jingle. She wrote a jingle to it. And if she sang it, the lyrics, I don't know how, if they were in a band or whatever. I don't know. I don't know any of that yet until they tell me, the spirits, or I tell myself in a vision. I don't know. But either way, that's how they know. When King Crimson wrote the song, they realized, hey, that's Boone's song. That's Colonel Boone's song on Earth. When they wrote the song on Earth, they're like, well, how did he get it? Christ says it seeped in, seeped. So dreaming in the illusion. The earth is the illusion, and you're the dream in the illusion. It's fucking crazy how it works over time. The reason I bring this to you is because it's so fascinating. It's a perfect example of dreaming in the illusion. That's why we're all here on the earth. That's why we're in body form. That's why we're on the earth. Our souls are on the earth. And artists do it. Painters do it, songwriters do it, guitar players do it. All artists dream it first. That's what Cray says. So there you go. This is just one more example about a song Daniel Boone wrote as a colonel on the earth. And if you look at the lyrics of the song, that is total Daniel Boone. That's all the stuff Daniel Boone loved. Loved. He loved it. He lived it. But he couldn't live in that world. He had to hunt. He had to kill people. He had to fucking survive, take care of his family, feed everybody by hunting, go through three fucking wars, or two at least, and survival, period. So he sat down one day when he was having a Zen moment and wrote the song. Everything he loved. Call it the dream and the illusion. Pretty cool, eh? And I read the lyrics to the song and I'm like, yep. There's scenes of a girl picking flowers in a white dress. I made a video before I knew all this. I made a video about a vision I had, a girl walking up to the house in a white dress with the cherry blossom flowers falling down on her. It was a spring morning and the sunlight was perfect. The cherry blossoms were falling, white cherry blossoms. She had a white dress on or gown or something. She was like 16. I'm an old man. I'm like 80. And I thought, fuck, this is just beautiful. Before I died, this is just beautiful, you know? So there you go. And she came up and up the stairs and delivered it something to me. And I felt the glow in my heart because it was just a beautiful moment. That type of shit, that moment, that one scene of a girl walking up to the house changes, gave me a vision 200 years later. That one scene in Daniel Boone's life gave me a vision so I could tell you about it 200 years later. You see how it works, man? The sacred moments you have, the sacred moments you have, you'll always remember 200 years later, 40,000 years later, because these are the moments on the earth that you create, and you create it for your own spirit, your own soul, your own Godhead. So they know, the Godhead will know who they are. They, them, not the Anunnaki, your Godhead, unless you're from that strain of people, but whatever. That's the way it works, man. That's the way it works. So cool. And you all got it. You can all do it. It's just the only thing that's stopping you is the belief systems, the ideologies, the diseases in your head. You're living from diseases, ideologies, and cults and religious beliefs and society's shit to keep you stupid. Get rid of all that. Get with the creator in your heart to your head and start doing this. That's where I was. I fucking blew my mind. Got rid of it all over a period. I'm still getting rid of it over my life. But the more I get rid of my ideologies, belief system, cults, bullshit in my head, the more I can see, the more I can do. I have my moments, I have my great moments, and it just bullshit. Bullshit during the day, but every time, but I'll be having a bullshit day, just monotone bullshit, dealing with it over days. Then one thing will happen where I have a thought of saving a kid for no reason, comes out of nowhere. The next day, at the same place, I save the kid. That's the prophecy one I had last week. So I don't know. I make a video about prophecy, how these prophecies work. And I realized I had other prophecies. Jesus Christ says I had 32 prophecies in my life. I don't even remember three of them, but I got to thinking about it, and I have one more. It was in Windsor, and it was three house fires, and I prophesied all three of them. I saw it before it happened. I saw the fire. One, two, three houses caught on fire within a week or 2 weeks. And I was walking by and I said, fuck, I just saw the house on fire. And the next day, I get up, I go to work, I walk by the house, and the fucking thing's burnt down. Fire trucks spraying. I'm like, holy fuck. Holy, that's the next video. It's pretty good. It was on Vera Street. And I actually called the fire department, but it was false, but I could smell smoke. So I don't know what the fuck happened. But I'll make the video for it. I just wanted to get this one out. That Daniel Boone, when he was dead, published word for word King Crimson song before King Crimson even dreamed it. Like hundreds of years, like 100 years in Beantown, he published the Dream and the Illusion song. And I got the priestess to back me up. I got Christ, Jesus Christ, to back me up, and all my fucking friends. Because when King Crimson wrote that song, they're like, holy fuck, that's Boone's song. How did he get it? They never researched it. But Christ says, more or less, it probably seeped into his consciousness because he liked the song or whatever happened. However, that played out in his world, we don't really know. But we know the general of how it works. Christ knows how it works. So he says it probably seeped into his consciousness. So his soul was probably singing what me and the priestess wrote in Beantown, the song, or whatever, however that played out. He knew of the song and he wrote it on the earth, thinking he wrote it. But it was actually written by me on the earth 100 years later, 100 years earlier. The only thing that claims it's mine is me, but that means shit. The only thing that I published it, copyrighted it in Beantown. Christ told me last night. So, well, after I made the video earlier, Christ told me at lunchtime when I lay down and have a rest that, yeah, Beantown, I got the copyright right here from fucking 1800s. You wrote this song. Somehow King Crimson got it and wrote the song, but they called it Moonchild. The dream and the illusion. So there you go, guys. Fucking cool. Later.